Hey guys, well today we're going to paint a topwater popper. Now a few weeks ago I did this in a frog pattern, but today I was going to see if I could find something a little different. Went through the Bass Pro catalog looking at various patterns to paint, and I stumbled onto one I kind of liked and I thought it might work good here. So we're going to see if we can replicate that, and it's called the Bleeding Tennessee Shad. So we'll see if we can put that on this popper. Stick with me. As I said, we're going to paint this in what Bass Pro Shop calls the Bleeding Tennessee Shad. And as always, we're just going to get our base coat of white on here. And as always, I am using the Createx opaque white. And I sure like painting the other ones where I use my little clamps better than having to paint them this way. But hey, that's what we got to do when they don't have a bill on them, right? All right, there we go. Got that done. Let's move on. All right, for our next step, we're going to go Createx Pearlized white, Pearlized paint. So we'll go pearl white, and we basically just care about the belly. So we'll make sure we give a good deal. If we go up the sideways, that's fine, because the Pearlized always tends to show through a little bit. So admittedly this time around we're going to use all Pearlized paints. Yeah, maybe except for the red. Alright, there we go. We've got the Pearlized white. We're going to clean up the gun here a bit. We'll move on to the next one. Brush is cleaned out. We're going to move on to Createx Pearlized color again. We're going with Pearl Satin Gold. One thing I'm doing a little bit different today, guys, I am not drying it between. I put on that pearl white and I'm not bothering to dry it. We're just going right back here with the gold. Going to come right down. If it's wet, that's okay. It just blends in a little better on the side. I'm not too worried about the back. We're going to cover that anyway. So there's my belly. Got nice white belly. I got the pearl coming down the side. We're going to stop right there. We're not going to bother to dry. We're going to clean out real quick. Just to get that out of there. And we're going to come right back with another Createx Pearlized. This is the Pearl Black. So we're going to come back with a Pearl Black. And again, we've kept it. We didn't bother to dry it. We're going right down the back. And I'm not going to get it real black. I want it dark, but I don't want it real dark. And that I want a little bit of that gold. I guess you could say a little bit of that gold is kind of coming through yet. And that's what I'm shooting for. The only thing is we're going to come a little around the face. We need a little around the face. Now as we get into trigger control, press down to get your air, but ease back on the trigger. Just a little to darken that face up just a little bit. There we go. Need a little more on that gill plate there. Alright, going to call that good. Now we need to move on to the red, but before we do the red, now we're going to go ahead and put a dry on it. So let me get the heat gun and I'm going to dry what I got on here so far. Now we're going to move on to Createx Transparent Bright Red. We're going to use that for inside the mouth, and we're also going to come underneath here, just a little bit underneath the mouth on that one. I've taken the pressure, I've gone from 14 pounds down to about 15. Again, it's all trigger control here. Try to keep it inside the mouth. All right, there we have inside the mouth. We're going to go underneath it a little bit, so we'll tip him over. Just a little bit there before we get to the hook, and that's it. I'm not even going to do much more than that. That's a little bit, because we're going to put some more red on the side. That's enough for there. All right, we're going to dry this, and now I'm going to step away a little bit from what they did on the picture we looked at for the lure we're trying to imitate. Let me dry this and we'll move on. All right, for our next step, we need that black dot, and I'm going to move a little bit of ways from what the Bass Pro Shop did. First, we're going to use Createx Opaque Black. This is what we're going to use to put on our black dot. And I'm going to use a Q-tip. Basically what I'm going to do, get some paint on that, spin it around a little, and keep a grip on it here. And all you want to do is get a point on it so you can just come up to that lure and just touch it and leave your spot. Now, in the picture we showed for the reference, they put the back spot back here. I would assume they probably did that because they're going to put their bleeding up front, and that's why they did that. It's always been my opinion, or things that I've read, the black spot is what the fish centers on when it's coming in. He keys in on the black spot, that's what he comes for. So instead of back here where there's the one hook, I want to put it up here where you normally see it, because they center it right over where the hook's going to be. I want him coming right for that. I want him coming right for that hook. So we're going to change just a little bit from what they did. We're going to come right in here, get a grip on this thing, and we're just going to touch him like, yeah, let's get a little bit more. Right like that. Let's come over here on the other side. Match that up. Right over I put it right over the lateral line. There we go. And there's our black spot. So we got that on. We've changed that a little. We do need to make it a bleeding fish. So, bleeding shad, I guess. So let's move on and get some red out here. Alright, for the bleeding part of our Bleeding Tennessee Shad, we're going to use Createx Opaque Red. And I'm just going to put them on with a brush. So, we're just going to get a little paint on, and I'm just going to mark them on. And I think we'll just, you know how I always say I don't like random. Don't feel I'm good at random. But that's what we're going to do here. We're just going to random in about 5 or 6 spots back there behind the dot. Nothing fancy, nothing special, just some red marks on. And that right there, we're going to call it good. Going to put some eyes in, get the top coat on, and as always, we'll see how she looks. Well, there you go, guys. There is my version of the Bleeding Tennessee Shad. Now all we need is some warm weather so we can get out and do some topwater fishing. Hey, thanks for sticking with me. Subscribe to our channel if you would. Hope to see you again real soon.